Okay, so we at the book signing, and can you explain a little bit about what the book Bridges is about?
Okay, so Bridges is a zine that was curated through the Brooklyn Public Library. This is the ninth edition and is entitled Letters from Home. What makes this specific issue of Bridges special is that it was curated by individuals who are no longer incarcerated, who wrote letters to individuals who are currently incarcerated. So this is what sets it apart from the other editions that have been printed in the past. And with this edition, what we did was we wanted to talk to ourselves, but from the future tense or present tense to our past selves, to say, what did I need to hear in those moments when I was away? What could I say to myself that would encourage me to understand that I got to keep going? This is not my label. This is not who I am, especially if they didn't deserve to be sitting there. Or even if they did deserve to be sitting there, reflecting on that moment and saying, what did I do to get here? And what the hell am I going to do to get out, right? So all of that is in this book. And it was curated through 11 dope souls who were brave enough to share their vulnerability through poetry, short stories, spoken word, photography. Everything you could think of is in this book.
Wow.
Just to show there's another side of this, right? And there are lessons to be learned in every situation or experience. And we wanted to gift that to people who are currently experiencing those things so they can understand when you come home, not only is it resources like recreation, Writers Group, right? Writers Club, right? But there
Shout
are
out to the
resources,
Writers Club.
right? And there are people here who actually care about you, right? We want you to read this and really be like, wow, somebody outside thought about me. Or if you're a family member and you see a letter from a loved one, because we have actual letters to loved ones in here curated.
Wow,
so
that's
if you
dope.
see it, you would know, oh man, my sister wrote that, my brother wrote that, whatever, right? But it was like a love letter to themselves. I can't say ourselves because I've never been incarcerated, but it was a love letter to themselves from the future to the past, and to really just showcase it's not over for you, regardless of what the story is, because everybody had a different story at the table. But we all met in that one space to put this together, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. And I love everybody who has something to do with this, and I'm grateful. Again, I'm grateful. That's it. That's
Nice.
Yeah.
So you have a poem in there or writing in there?
Yeah, I do. I have.
And what did you write about?
So I have my photography, I have poetry, and
Cool.
And letters to my brother. So my dad is currently serving double life. So I wrote a nice nasty letter to him.
Wow.
Because he refuses to communicate. So I'm a little hurt about that, right? And that's my thing now. My brother passed away 2 years ago, almost to the day. Sunday will be his anniversary in DOC custody. And our biggest gripe was that we did not communicate as much as we could before he passed. I currently have a brother awaiting trial, and we communicate almost every day. So a lot has changed, and that all transpired while we were making this book. Like all of this stuff was happening while this was being curated, right? So I take advantage of being able to talk to my brother every day. I take advantage of being able to write and express it, even if I don't share it, because that's what I learned through your mom here. I'm not gonna cry.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But one of the things that she said to me when we first met, and it wasn't even at the workshop, it was at a welcome home dinner. And she told me that she wrote, but she never said it out loud before.
Right.
So when she came to the table, I was like, oh, it's Velma. Like, I know the lady, that's the lady from the other men. And she said it out loud. She said the stuff out loud. And I think that's what writing does, and that's what workshop does. So that's why this is so important, is because we read books all the time, but being able to curate one and know this is work we put in, we showed up, we sat at the table, and we said things out loud that we never said before.
I love
all
that.
what happened in Letters from Home.
I love that. I just have one question for
What's
you.
up?
Because you said your dad doesn't want to communicate. How does that make you feel?
I'm hurt, but I'm dealing with it. And right now he's sick. And that makes it, I want to say, closer to closure for me because he's older in age. He's elderly now.
Okay.
But for a long time, I've been like fighting. I wrote him, and I write him, and there's no response. And he says for spiritual reasons, but he has mental health issues, right? So I try to put his schizophrenia together with isolation and what prison can do to you mentally. And I try to give him grace in that way. And I'm still thinking now, even as he's sick, he's in the hospital still, and I'm like, maybe I should just still try to write him. Like, it's still in me to want to say something, because you never don't love your daddy. Even
Right.
if it's your mother. It's
Right.
nothing, I don't care who they are, what label he has, it's nothing that can make me not love him. Even with him deciding not to talk to me. So even in his last, I don't know if this is his last moments, I'm still gonna write him a letter, and I want to express to him how I feel, and I want to brag about what I'm doing. Like, even though he didn't speak to me, that turned into this. That's what made me say I need to help people who need to understand. You need to talk, right? Don't let them feel alone or feel so isolated they decide to cut everybody off, because that's not what we want. I didn't want that, and that's a decision he made that I have no choice but to deal with. So,
wow, I'm sorry you have to go through that, but stay strong, Queen, and shout out to your brother.
Yes.
Yeah, and your dad.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Charlie. We are here tonight celebrating the Big Zion and our book being published. 11 writers, hard work, blood, sweat, and pain, put that pen to paper and produce something that's phenomenal that the world should read. What you can find in my work is pain, and what you'll find in the future, that's the door opener for it. It's a lot more coming. My work was written in regards to my father that is serving life. Since I was the age of 2, I just got to celebrate a birthday this Sunday, 39 years old. So,
wow, happy birthday.
thank you so much. So I'm dealing with it, and I put it in a book. I'm always praying that for some turnaround and to find some kind of loophole where I can bring my father home. Right. You know, but like everybody, every day is not perfect that we wake up. He nor I is perfect, and we have our days, you know?
That's right.
My name is Charlie, and thanks for letting me share.
Shout out to you, Charlie. One more thing.
Sure.
So, you've done some time too as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
5 years.
Wow, and you made it through.
And I made it through.
Look at God. Look at God.
Yeah. So I served 5 years. I've been in every woman's penitentiary in the state of New York, right? And today I've been home for 16 years. To God be the glory.
God bless. Yes, yes.
Thank you. And yeah, it's real. And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you a secret real quick, and we could elaborate on this later. And a lot of people that did time with me know, as much as I love my father, I want to share this with everybody tonight. I did every day of my time without writing my father. And that was the most painfulest thing about the time that I did. It wasn't even being pulled away from my family, and that killed me. But I could not allow the people that had held me captive to turn on a monitor and show my father a picture of his daughter in green. You can take me to hell and you can kill me, but you are not going to make my father feel that his daughter fell victim to what he did. So I did every day, missing and wondering and hoping and praying that my father would be alive when I got out. When I got out, that weekend, I was at Auburn Correctional Facility after 5, alhamdulillah. God, my father's Muslim. He just, all he could keep doing is saying, thank you, you brought her back. I said, you had to know. I got this shit in my blood. You had to know I was going to make it, but I couldn't let them see our love and survive that. If they saw it, they'd break me with it. They would use it to break me. I had to make it home. And I did that. And here I am. And so we celebrate the book today. I'm putting in the pain. I understand and learned that hard work does pay off. And I'm willing to put the work in, right, today, the right way. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you. Hi, Mom. So we're at the book signing that you all did poetry. Yes. And what was your poem about, Mom? Even though I got it all on my pages.
Actually, my poem was, I would say, Voices Behind Bars.
Voices Behind Bars.
And I I know not why the cage bird sings. I started off with that because I didn't really know why I was in jail. You know, they railroaded me. I don't know how I got there, and I was in such trauma. Maybe I wrote to get out of the trauma.
Okay.
Because all I did was cry. They couldn't even shackle me to nobody that's going, you know, when you go to court, I was shaking so much they couldn't even shackle me. And all I did in there was cry. And they said,
Really,
Grandma,
the big
why
thing
you
is
crying?
this, like,
I couldn't even answer. I would
We're
hold my
calling it
body
an
like this and
abolitionist
just walk
series.
back and forth. And I mean, 7 months. That was a long time.
yeah, the one I was telling you about.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
gonna be like a couple months.
They kept telling me I was going to court.
and different events.
Nobody never came and got me and took me to court.
Did the writing
You
workshop.
saw one time when
That's
you
like our
came
biggest thing coming up.
to
But
Pennsylvania,
what else? That's
how
what
I
we
was
focus
shaking
on. There's
in the
different
court.
stuff at different libraries. Right?
Yeah.
That's like
And,
our, you know.
But you made it through,
I
man.
made it through.
I used to go to the one
You
on
made it through. You're
The
strong.
reason, yes, and the poem
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
closed right now.
while I was in there, I did think of suicide.
Yeah, which one is?
And
It's the-
That's not the Grand Army Plaza.
what happened was they put me in the hole.
Toward Utica.
And all of this was not from me doing
Reynolds,
anything.
Schenectady,
It was
and
from
Eastern
other
Park.
people.
It's a nice library.
You know, they put me in the hole to hold another couple
Renovation.
together.
The one I usually
Talk
go to.
about it.
That was wrong.
That's right.
That was
Talk
wrong.
about it.
And
There's a
then
nice
they
one
put
on,
me in the cell where I almost got jumped, but I guess they were scared when I got back.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm
Talk about it.
And you know what's so funny? They joke, oh, Grandma got a big old butt, oh yeah. You know, and I'm like, wait, you know, this is two young girls.
I used to
You
live
know,
there. I just got an apartment in
about,
Queens.
you know? So then after a while, that was
Way
another
out there.
thing, another
Like
problem.
Horace
They
Hart
put me, after they took me out of there, I almost had to fight with one of those girls. She stole some of my stuff. You don't have much while you're in prison, but the little bit you have, you try to hold on to.
Amen.
And I was so nice, I was sharing my stuff. And then,
Worked hard to get
all
it.
of a sudden, they said they'll pay me back. We come to set it. You know what? They
Never
just
come.
walked past my cell.
You know what it is to be on the
Wow.
streets.
You know, I
never
couldn't
come.
believe it.
But
Guys stay in
I
the
always
streets.
thought
They act like they don't want to leave.
I never should
That's your heart. That's your heart. Yeah.
So after they put me,
Salmon?
one of the girls, right,
Salmon?
Okay, now
Salmon?
was in there, and they turned the light. I like to read,
Chicken
so I
parm?
kept the lights on, and they started turning the light. Oh, she always had this light on. I said, why are you bothering me? You know, I'm in
In
the
my
cell now
business.
with them too.
See what I'm talking about?
You know what I'm saying?
Detroit City?
So when I went and told the CO,
Detroit
the
anyway?
CO had the nerve.
if you can just put it
She
down.
act like she was
we'll
on
figure
my
it
Anybody want to
side.
try some of this right
When
now?
they locked them doors at night, and she had the nerve, and I begged her not to tell me.
and steak
I
sandwich.
begged her, and she said, and she had the nerve to go and tell me.
You can put it
She
down.
wouldn't
down,
say
down.
that big, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the saddest part I saw
Steak sandwich.
was a pregnant girl getting kicked by guards. Oh my man, just kicking. They must have let her out because she was on the seat.
Yeah.
I mean, kicks in her stomach and everything, and that was
one more thing. I just want to say congratulations, Ma. I'm happy that you made it. You made it through. And I love you, Ma.
It was a hard.
Yes, Hey.
And you know what? I'm not a cage bird anymore. But you know, I also say a lot of us have to be very careful because even when we're free,
Yeah.
we may be cage birds.
Wow.
You gotta be careful of how you live your life.
That's right.
You know, and
Wow.
I just thank everybody for listening.
Oh.
Thank you, Ma.
I love this lady.
Okay, so we got Roberto here, and he has some poetry and art in the book Bridges, which is why we're here. Can you explain a little bit about what you wrote in the book?
Well, my article in this episode of Bridges is about reaching out to the people that are incarcerated and letting them know that there's people out here that care about them, and that they don't have to feel alone, that besides their loved ones, there are also organizations out here in society that care about them, like a lot of church organizations. And there are also organizations that reach out and try to do things for prisoners to let them know that they are thought about and then they're missed and they're loved and that they're cared for. They might provide little care packages for them like socks or snacks and stuff, but we let them know that they're not alone, and that's one of the things that I wrote about, so that they understand that.
Okay, that's dope. So you also got some art in the book.
I did a few pieces for this issue.
Okay, nice. Can we get a little peek?
Sure, I can show you one of them I did here.
How are y'all doing? Anybody need anything else right now?
Yes, I'll take some.
This one was inspired by the
Dope. I can't breathe. Let me zoom in on that. Wow.
This was inspired by the individuals that were suffering police brutality.
Okay.
They were
You
choked
can-
out.
you can
I can't
They
make
said they
any
couldn't
guarantees.
Right,
breathe,
but you can mix them for me.
and so
That's
I'm
okay.
showing
So
Lady
just give me a
Justice
few,
being
if you can.
choked out,
Anything else?
That's it for me.
saying
Nice.
they can't breathe. That's
Wow,
symbolic of justice is under attack.
that's dope, Roberto. I love that. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, John. So, I know you wrote in the book as well. Or can you explain your part that you play in the organization?
Yeah, so this issue, besides all the stuff that Kadira said, which is like nails it, there's, I want to make sure that we all know that this is like everybody at this table, for the most part, was part of this writing workshop that we did at Brooklyn Public Library last summer that produced much of the work that ended up in this issue of the zine. And so, part of what we're doing tonight is celebrating the issue and celebrating the people that produced it. So my role in all this is I'm a facilitator. Recreation is a writing club. It's a family. It's a culture of people who have been impacted either directly or indirectly by our horrible carceral state. And it's my own background is my dad was in prison for much of my childhood, but I had a long time before I could say I'm indirectly impacted, because I didn't even meet my dad until I was 16. He'd been out, he had kind of remade himself, and I really didn't think about all the stuff that he went through, both in prison and then out in kind of becoming a new or better version of himself, until I started doing this work, because he never told me about it. And so, when I was first going to Rikers and doing the writing workshops, I would be on the bus, the Q100 bus on the way back, and just going through kind of journaling in my mind what had happened that day. And I found myself kind of calling my dad from the bus. And I don't even know why I'm getting into this now. It just feels right to say it. But, that was the first time that he opened up to me and told me, that, the reason why he didn't come back to me and my mom was because his parole officer let him leave the state. So this was back before the internet. So he didn't have to say he had a felony, and so he could get a job. And to me, that gave me an understanding that was beyond he just left me and my mom, which he did. But to me, that was okay, that was a positive reason to do what he had to do in that respect. But also, just hearing my dad talk about that part of his life, he probably would have never been comfortable telling me those parts of his story if I wasn't doing this work. If he didn't see me honestly and with all of my being pouring myself into, you know, helping people who are behind bars like discover and nurture their own voices. And so in a way, like my dad felt safe in a way that I tried to make sure everybody who I work with feels safe.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's, again, I don't know why I just told that, but
Wait, but I want to know because we spoke about, you know, the daughter who had the father in prison. How does it feel for a young man to have his dad in prison?
you know, it's, I'm going to go ahead and go there and say that, you know, my experience as a white person and my dad's experience, he was very forthright that his experience as a teenager who was white in the prisons was different than everybody else's. They immediately identified him for programs, immediately enrolled him in the high school equivalency, the GED, and immediately kind of like thought of him as like someone who can be redeemed by prison. And I think that one thing that I learned from a lot of people who are what I call indirectly impacted, people who have family and friends inside, if they are not white, the benefit of the doubt is not given nearly as easily.
That they're treated different.
Yeah, and you know, I had no doubt, and this was probably a lot my mom, who was also not a high school graduate, but you know, I just assumed I was going to college, and now I'm like, why did I ever assume I was going to college? Because nobody else assumed that of me, but there was something, and you know, part of me is like, you know, a lot of people probably did because, I don't want to say because I'm white, but because something made them assume the best in me that maybe wouldn't have been assumed. I hear, you know, I remember Glenn, who started Just Leadership USA. I remember hearing him talk about like being arrested for shoplifting and like the first time being arrested, and you know, the officer like threw him down the stairs or kicked him down the stairs while he was handcuffed.
Wow.
It's like, motherfucker. And I remember I got caught shoplifting twice. I got 2 diversions.
Wow.
And, you know, the officers were like, whatever. The court was like, whatever.
So is Glenn black?
Yes. But I remember hearing him like, and that really gave me a perspective as well. And so I think that's another part of this whole thing, that, you know, doing this work makes all of us realize how we are impacted in different ways.
Right.
And how as Americans, we are treated differently by these systems that purport to treat us all the same. We're all treated badly, but it's degrees.
Right. Well, I appreciate you, John. That was a beautiful piece that you shared with us.
Thanks.
And I can't wait to read your part in the book. God bless you. Thank you. Hey, Henry, what's up?
Hey, how you?
I'm doing fine. You're one of the writers that's in the book Bridges that we're here celebrating today, and I would like to know, what was your poem about or your writing about?
My poem is from lived experience. I was in Downstate Correctional Facility in 2008. That's when I got sentenced for Rikers to go downstate, and I think I was key block. It was my first time upstate, and I heard a lot of terrible stories about upstate. So while I was key block, it was just a lot of things on my mind. So one of the poems I made was my contemplation, and then following it was a poem. At that time, I didn't know what it was called. I just came up with a name after so many years to put in the book, to the Bridges. But it was like something to the effect of my love. Being that had to do with my love. It had to do with my baby mother, me missing out on my first child, who at that time was like 14 months when I went to prison. So I think I was trying to relay the emotions I had at the time when it came to my daughter and the baby mother, because when I came in, it was my first child. I was very young.
How old were you when you?
When I went there, I was 21 when I went up north, and that was my first bid. So I never did a state bid or nothing like that. I did Rikers Island time before, but I wound up doing 8 years for my first time. So
Wow.
that was like a real eye opener for me. And me having a daughter at the time and doing this significant amount of time, it just made me think a lot. My CR date was on my first daughter's birthday, so that kind of gave me an incentive to do good and do better, even to see that maybe God was maybe involved with my sentencing, because not every
Wow.
man get the sentence of his daughter's birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
Like,
right.
That's a deep thing. Like, you done did a crime at some point in time and throughout the year, and then you get sentenced, and your sentence reflect your child's. And at that time, my daughter, she's the only person I loved at that time. Just, I don't know, like, I'm one of the guys that it's kind of hard for me to connect sometimes, but I could connect with my children, and I could love my children in a way that's, you know, maybe people be like, dang, man, that's all you love? You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's like, oh, that's just how God wired me. He wired me to love my children more than anything. Like, you know, clearly. I got my daughter right here.
Ariana, hi, beautiful.
Yeah, it's my first time being able to raise my child. So my first daughter, I didn't get to raise her. So
Okay.
that's why, you know, like, just like I said, there's a lot on my mind. So I wrote the poem to express to the baby mother feelings, and maybe, yeah, just my feelings and thoughts that she didn't get to hear
Okay.
at no time prior to prison, because I didn't know how to communicate my feelings or nothing. It was just something that I acquired because of the transition of coming from the street to prison and being taken away from my family and friends, and even my daughter, who, like, I felt like was the only person who loved me because of how I grew up. So just losing something, the connection to something so great in my life, made me want to change my life. Especially, you know, just seeing myself going down the road where only death or jail, and it's like a lot of my friends, and we come from these neighborhoods and areas where that's our future. Our future is death or prison. It's not nothing fake about it. All the handsome men, the gangster men, the guys I think they tough, that's charismatic, that may take the eyes of people, places, and things, are in jeopardy of having to go to prison for whatever reason. For some reason, it's just
Right.
amazing to me. You know, so I had to learn how to express myself. So even just coming out and being able to be involved myself with Bridges, and being somebody who came from gang activity, that came from broken homes, that came from a lot of misunderstanding. You know, I was like, let me give back. Let me try to help those, because it wasn't too many people that could help me. That's first. And only through my trials and tribulations, the consequences of my actions, I had to learn. So we got people that, yeah, we could lead the horse to the water, but you know, we can't let them drink. I was one of those people where it's like people led me to the well every time, and I didn't drink the water because I didn't feel like at that time the water was going to aid me. But like I said, as I got into trial and tribulation, I had to understand, like, life is more important. I have to be there for my daughter and my daughters, but in a way that nobody was there for me, because I could cry to you right now in front of everybody on how I grew up in the trials and tribulations I went through in life. But I said I gotta be stronger than that, because crying is not gonna help me to, you know, put my daughter, or like to put my daughter in great, you know, places around great people so she can do great things, or any of my children. And we live in a time where, you know, us as men, we don't have the best relationship with the opposite sex. So me being a man and having daughters, I try to incorporate a great relationship with my daughters, with my baby mom, with any female for the most part, knowing that it's a great misunderstanding, and maybe trying to take a sacrifice for those guys that think they too tough, that got egos or whatever's going on, where it's like, oh, this female, she think this and this think that, but it's like, we got to get to a point where our communication and our understanding, where it could be better for our children, and that's my main goal. So it don't matter what I got going on with, like, my baby mother. My only goal is to stay friends with her, and to stay a father in my daughter's life, regardless of what's going on. Like, it don't matter who she with, what's going on, or who I'm with, what's going on. Not that we with anybody, nothing. But the thing is to
Right,
remember
you
that.
just saying.
Yeah, you know, like to remember we took the time to love each other at one time. At one time in life, we were so synchronized that we was able to make the beautifulest thing that humans can make, which is life. You know, and when we able to make life and create this great thing, you know, we gotta take it more seriously. We gotta take it more seriously because it's real people and it's real places and things that's being affected by our actions, by our don't give a F's, you know, because we could walk around, I don't give a F about nothing, it's my way, but a lot of time our way is somebody's painful way. And we gotta understand that, like, we can't always incorporate our way because we feel like it's good for us, because it can hurt the people we love. And that's one thing I had to learn too, is through my actions, is just learning, like, I can't overwhelm or overstep my baby mother. I can't feel like I'm such a man or where it's like I could just leave her anywhere, you know what I'm saying? I really gotta like hold her hand and be like, yo, listen, you walk with me so you could see that you could trust me, opposed to just be like, yo, follow me and we going to distrust me because we got, you know, it's a lot, you know.
Well, I definitely commend you for being, you know, a black man who is interested in loving his kids, raising your daughters. That's so important, you know. I know the effects of a daughter and not having her father there, so I love that.
Yeah,
I love that you love your daughters. That's so
love
dope.
them.
I love it.
Love them.
Yes, yes.
It's funny because, you know, and I try to tell people, I don't try to be too mean, but like to the guys that's out there that fancy themselves, ladies man, guys, whatever it is, if you got daughters and you're not a ladies man to your daughter where you not get her everything and do, because the thing is this, we see what's going on where there's a lot of females just in the world, whether it's right or wrong, I don't care, but it's like they expect certain things from guys. And a lot of times, us as fathers, we put women in position to have to do these things and they shouldn't have to. It's just the truth. It's at the end of the day, whether it's we got to take responsibility as men in how we choose to interact with our women with the opposite sex. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to show our women that they are more valuable, that the family is more valuable, so that we could encourage more family and things of that nature. You know, it would be cool to have men where we aren't so hypersexualized, right? Where we just having sex with people just to do it because we're men. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys, let's make it make sense, because we in a time right now in the world where it's not so cool to interact with certain people. It could be family or anything. You know what I'm saying? We learning that loyalty is more than just a word. It's a lifestyle. It's not something that you do today, then you say, I'm not going to do tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just trying to get it to where, like I said, I build understanding with my baby mom, my daughter. I want for women to know that they loved and they cared for. And maybe that we should maybe just reevaluate our relationship between man and woman. You know what I'm saying? Just reevaluate it. How could we make it better? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, how can we make it better?
Right,
Because,
that's important.
yeah, because if it's like, let's come up with some solutions where it's like, because like even for myself, I had to do something with my baby mom just to, not to beef my, I ain't fake beef with my baby mom, nothing, but we be going through our thing. But me as a man, I say, yo, listen, let's say if my baby mom say, yo, my baby father, he mean. I'm gonna have to show her that I'm not mean. Instead of being mean to her, I'm gonna act real nice to her. So she can't say that I'm mean. Like, there's no way you can say I'm mean if I'm acting nice. So my thing is like, before I used to complain about things that my baby mom might have said about me, instead of me proving to her that that's not what it is. And a lot of times as men, we gotta prove ourselves. That's just what I'm saying. Because it's a reason why our women come to us. It's a reason why our women took a liking to us. And we have to understand it. Even when we don't understand it, we have to make sense. She came to us, bro. You know, we gotta just learn how to respond and everything. I didn't know how to respond. And that's another reason why I write and I communicate and I try to reach my brothers that's in prison, because a lot of the brothers in prison, I used to help them write letters. I used to help them write their grievances. I used to have to read their letters to them so that they could understand whoever writing them.
I help you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, each one teach one. if we want better, we do better. And it was a time they said, the real don't die, we multiply. So I'm
That's
just
right.
like the last of a dying breed of a cloth that I want to keep alive.
Okay.
And, you know, we got to keep that man and woman and child relationship relevant at all times.
I love that. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Henry. You expressed yourself very well. And I'm definitely looking forward to reading your part in the book.
Yeah, mine is Henry Robinson, y'all. Y'all check mine out, all right? It's official. It almost made me cry. I'm telling you, I can't believe I made it.
Wow, that's dope. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So when you were in Rikers Island, John was
facilitating
the writing. Oh, okay. And okay, that's how y'all met. Nice.
I was the only guy coming to the workshop. Most people would have stopped coming. But he showed up every Friday morning at 10:30 just for me.
Wow.
And that was amazing. I couldn't believe he would do that. And many days, many Fridays, he ended up sitting there by himself because the COs were too lazy to go get me. And they'd come and tell him he refused.
And he still kept
So
on.
And I told John, if they ever tell you I refuse,
They're lying.
they're lying.
Thank you.
Because I never refused.
Wow.
I'd be back in the wing pacing. What's going on? Where's John? And then I talked to him and he would tell me, they said you didn't want to come.
Wow.
I got out in 2020, and since then, I've been to conferences. I've been in other states. I was involved in a global panel on writing, all because of this. Public speaking, publishing, even the advancing in my own personal writing career is thanks to that man's influence. So I want everybody to know that before he starts pushing himself into the background like
saying it was
he's just doing nothing. I'm just waiting for you guys to do it all. It's not like that at all. I actually met John about 1 month after my daughter died. And he was very instrumental in helping me get over that.
Wow.
Because
Sorry to hear
I was
that.
dying with my daughter while I was locked up. It's probably the most devastating thing that ever happened. Because my wife, my sons, my granddaughters, we're all out there dealing with it without me. And I still haven't forgiven myself for that. He knows that. And I don't know if I ever will. But he got me through. He definitely got me through. And I thank you for that. And every time you try to put yourself down, I'm going to remind everybody that you are the man.
That's right.
You are the man.
I have to say, the first time, my first writing workshop I ever did, they held me up big time at the gate. I was like, it took me forever to get in.
Yeah.
I finally get there. Ken was the first person I see. He looks at me. The first thing he says is, "You're late."
He read his notes.
He set the tone for you, huh?
Yeah. He read his notes to us about his first workshop with us. He made me sound like such an ass. He really, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I sounded like such a jerk.
Oh, wow. I
I
like
love
that
this guy.
though.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much, Ken. And I'm sorry to hear about your daughter, and I'm glad that you made it through. And stay strong. That's right. So we got Nikki, who is one of the writers in the book Bridges.
Happy birthday to you.
And I would like to ask you to explain a little bit about what you wrote in the book.
Okay, I wrote basically about the connection and the challenges of the connections that the outside world has with the inside world.
Okay, good.
As far as the cause, I also dedicated a poem to my father-in-law, which is my wife's father. We already interviewed her, and he's currently doing life.
Wow.
And it's basically something to lift him up and make him smile in his time, challenging time. But as far as I'm proud of everything. Because everyone's basically listening now.
It's all right.
make
released
sure.
today, and I'm proud of everyone.
That's hard to find, Henry, but we
And
got,
the
hold on, we
challenges
got
that
to
everyone
catch
faces
it. You gotta let me know
able
you're
to put
ready.
things behind them and focus on bringing it to the forefront to be able
Some
to
music.
express their
Karaoke?
themselves or something about someone else.
Yes,
And
yes.
also, I want to give your mom a shout out, Miss Velma, because meeting her, she's a very, very sweet.
Please reach out to me.
Inspirational
Please, this is
person.
Kadira Book. Wait a
I
minute.
love her, and this is my wife here. I currently started here and basically supporting her, but sitting in the background. I'm also a writer, so it basically forced me to come out and be myself.
Right. I love that. I love that,
Thank
Nikki.
you. I'm a very creative person, and my book basically is When You, well, my poem. And I'm happy to be a published poet, thanks to John.
Shout out to John.
Yeah, shout out to John. And so, yeah, so sometimes when you're talking to someone who is incarcerated, maybe the pause might be a little choppy, or maybe you might not be able to communicate as well as you would like to communicate with the person. But you have to still try to stay strong and be able to communicate, get your point across, but sometimes it can be sad and heartbreaking.
Yes,
So, one of
definitely.
my poems is basically saying, hello, are you there? Hello, do you care? You know, just
Oh, wow.
emotional, from an emotional standpoint. But now,
Can we get a little snippet? Cause I love that. Hello, are you there? Here's the book. Yeah.
I'll read it.
Yeah, I love that. Hello, are you there?
Well, I'm gonna get going.
Okay, it says, hello, are you there? Sometimes you act like you don't even care. I pour my heart out to you, but you can't even hear. You just continue to look at me with this hurtful stare. Hello, are you there? The connection we have was so real. And to lose it one day was not only fair. I tried over and over again to keep you near and hold you close to my heart, so very dear. Hello, are you there? I promise that if you lend me an ear, I will give you this love that no one will ever compare, and show you that I will always be there. Hello, are you there? I think we lost a connection that made me shed a tear. But if you lend me another ear, I can tell you that you have a collection of my heart. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I have to now because we're taking pictures.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. Thank
Good
you.
luck, and I know you're gonna succeed.
Thank you. You too, Nikki. Blessings to
Thank
you
you. Oh, and
always.
follow me at Rockstar Nikki NYC on Instagram. Thank you.
Got you. Okay, thank you.